Hey everybody, welcome back to Inside AVL, and today I'm inside the Gamma LED Vision Showcase, their showroom with Jeremy Pace. What's up, Jeremy?
Hey man, how are you?
And today we're talking about the vendor-partner relationship and the importance of that. Gamma LED is not just someone that sells me gear so I can resell it, but is also a company that I value their friendship and their mission.
We appreciate that. It's reciprocated.
So for the people that don't know Gamma LED Vision, what is the vision of Gamma LED and what makes you guys any different from the other lighting companies?
I think we try to pride ourselves first and foremost on service. And I'm not talking about just if something goes wrong, but I'm talking about like throughout the entire process of everything. Being a small family-owned company allows that to happen a lot easier than, let's say, a large corporate company. So being able to offer pre-sales support, hey, I'm looking to do a stage with a live band, for example. What do I need? Well, what's your vision? You know, instead of just me saying, oh, you need 4 of these, 6 of these, 10 of these, you know, what do you want it to, what's the outcome that you're looking for?
Yeah, so, it's just not cookie cutter.
Yeah, no cookie cutter stuff. Like, we're not one of those companies that tries to have dealers that are exclusively online that are just trying to move boxes. You know, that's when you have lighting package 1, lighting package 2, lighting package 3. That's boring, in my opinion. You know, it works for some people, but if you want to have a true from beginning to end experience and have somebody walking you through it, or spitballing ideas together, talking the trade and the fun of it and why we do this along the process, you know, that's really what we're about. And the other aspect of the service would be this after sales support as well, which we have, you know, inside tech. We're easy. We're not, you're calling, you're going to get a hold of me, Christian, or Carlos most likely. And one of us doesn't have to transfer you. We can make those decisions on what needs to happen over the phone right away. And, you know, if something needs to come back or something needs to be replaced, it'll be taken care of.
I think a lot of it's long-term relationships too.
Sure. Like how long have we known each other?
There's not so much turnover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not too much turnover shows that, hey, somebody on the business side is taking care of these people. And,
For
you
sure.
know, I mean, to answer your question, me and Jeremy and I've known each other for what? 15 years,
something like
16
that, yeah.
years or something like that.
Yeah, I think so, back when I brought a bunch of you guys into my old company, that's when we probably met for the first time. Yeah, that was 2011.
And so it's the relationship that with Jeremy and I that kind of carried us, and you know, kind of goes with Jeremy's reputation, right? So Jeremy's reputation, and he comes into a new company that's family owned like Gamma, and he's been here for how long have you been?
It's been 4.5 years now.
4.5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Some people don't even stay that long at their companies these days.
Sure. Yeah.
This is my 16th year with Guitar Center. So.
Yeah. Congrats, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Why do you think relationships are so important in the AVL industry?
Well, for example, like with me, I've always had friendships build out of relationships. Like business relationships start as business for sure, but it turns into something more. Like the more you do business, the more, you know, excited you are about projects to do together in the future, and building that partnership and that camaraderie is really cool. Like the AVL industry, for example, isn't a giant business or giant industry such as like computer tech or construction, stuff like that, where like there's companies that have been in this industry that do their main business in like construction. Like example is a company named Genie. Genie does crank towers, and they do a lot of other stuff you're going to see in like the construction business. So they were the main player in crank lifters for line array systems and trussing systems for 30 plus years maybe. They discontinued this whole industry a little over 2.5 years ago. And to this day, there are still people using their product that are now coming to the point to where they need parts. They don't exist anymore. So they basically take their inventory and they cannibalize a bunch of it to get other stuff to work now. So this industry was just such a drop in the bucket to that company. So it's a small industry. My point being, it's a small industry. So you have to have partnerships and good relationships with people. I mean, I've been with Gamma 4.5 years, like we mentioned, but you don't go around talking smack about other companies or talking crap about other people's products, because you never know, man. Like you might end up somewhere else one day, and Jeff's gonna be like, "Hey, man, you were talking bad about so and so. Like, why should I buy it from you now? Because you sell it." You know?
Yeah. I think it really comes down to trust, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I think what you're outlining there is trust, trusting that your partner is going to be around for you when things go wrong. I know, not everybody's perfect, and sometimes we make mistakes, but a true partner is going to step up when they make the mistake and just take care of it. And,
Well, sure. I mean, we have an example of that from a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
you called me and you said, "Hey, can
we got
this
a problem."
trussing?" Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you called me about some trussing. I said, "Yeah, it'll hold this video wall." And then when it got shipped, your client called me. You were spring break with your kids at Disney World, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I could tell you were stressed out, and the customer was completely right. I was like, "Oh, you know what? No, that's not going to hold it." But we're close by. I have the right trusting that it will work. Come by, bring your other stuff, pick this stuff up, and it was done. There didn't need to be paperwork or anything like crazy involved to get that done.
That's the thing with those bigger companies, man.
Yeah.
You have a lot of red tape, and those big companies are like big ships. You can't expect a big cruise liner to make a quick turn like a speedboat can.
Correct.
And so that's where I kind of see you guys in that speedboat category.
Yeah, I like that analogy. Like I always tell
Thanks.
people, like we can pivot quickly. Like
Yeah.
if we need to do something, or it's like, hey, I'm not gonna have the product on my container on the ocean for 90 days, let's say. It's like, hey, but I can hot shot it over here and get it here in 20 and I can get you that answer within 4 hours. So
Talk about service, man.
it's a lot easier, man.
Why do you think some people focus on price instead of like quality of gear or what we're talking about, these partnerships? Did I
Sometimes
open a
price
big can
does
of worms?
sell. I mean, complete honesty and transparency, man. It does sell to some people, but those are people you don't have a relationship with, right? Those are people going on the large websites and, hey, I have a $10,000 budget. I need 40 lights for an event. Well, you're probably going to be buying stuff again in a year because your investment is probably not a sound investment. But hey, if it gets you through and you made that money back from the event, fine. Like I get it. But I think to your point, price isn't always the main factor. Like if a budget is a budget, I get it. But what kind of where Gamma comes into play is we don't have DJ style lights. All we have is professional grade stage lighting, event lighting, stuff like that. So since we are a small company, we have like 9 full-time employees. We don't have the overhead that a lot of the larger name brand companies have. So with that being said, our prices are better than your big lighting companies in the world, and that's the reason why. But all the quality's there. Like fixtures are apples to apples, as long as you're focusing on the main aspects. Let's say a moving head, good motors, good power supply, good optics. So as long as you're focusing on the main things that need to be more advanced in a fixture than just, buying one off the shelf, right? Then you're going to have a better quality product. Everything that we get in here, we make tweaks to stuff. It's not sent here and like we look at it and go, oh, that's good. So, yeah, there's things that are upgraded for sure on our end because we don't want to have like a boomerang effect to where somebody buys, let's say this TX6 behind me, and it's either dead on arrival or it worked for a couple of weeks and went down. And when I mean boomerang effect, it's not only this thing coming back here and me sending another one out, so it's just a repeated cycle, but then
What separates your company from the bigger ones is that these bigger companies have this like long drawn out necessary process for warranty stuff where
Yeah.
it's just a phone call, an email, and it gets resolved pretty quickly.
yeah,
So-
I mean, look, I've worked for one of those companies before.
Yeah.
I mean, you call in, you hit number 4 for service or whatever it might be, or you email a service group. Those people don't have the relationship with you that your sales manager has.
Right.
So I'm going to be a little protective of like that, just only in the sense of they're only doing their job. Right.
Sure.
Like
Sure.
I've had many calls back in those days where my dealer would call that line or email that group, wouldn't be happy with the answer that they were given, call me, and then, you know, of course, I'm gonna jump through hoops to help service that person correctly. But here it's not necessary. You know, you're dealing with U.S. sales, you're dealing with me. You know, we have rep firms around too, or you're dealing with them, and then they in turn deal with me. So it's not a there's no extension for service here. Everybody has a name when you call Gamma.
Why do you think manufacturers care about who represents them?
Well, you want the brand represented correctly, you know. And in our case, brands. So Gamma is not just lighting. Gamma is LED video wall. Gamma is trussing. We do power distribution in our Rhino series. We do motors, and then we actually distribute in the U.S. for some main brands out of Spain. Work Pro lifters, Fantech staging, the Fantech LED ground support wall. It's a universal ground support option for LED video walls, and also Light Shark DMX controllers. So we have 9 lines under one building and under one sales team. So yeah, you want it represented correctly, and you want it represented equally as well.
True. Why do you think some people outside of the business misunderstand the audio, video, and lighting business? What's different about AVL? It's not a quiz. Just
A little different than AVL. I think the relationships are honestly what makes it different.
I think so.
Like at the end of the day, everybody in this industry is into music, right? And that kind of just universally brings people together. So, you know, not to sound crass, but you're not going to run into too many a-holes in this industry. Everybody's, you know, a pretty cool person when it comes down to it, or when it doesn't come down to it. Like, you kind of just get along because we're all into the same stuff at the end of the day, and we all want to make a performance look better or an event look better. And then as long as the audio people keep making it sound better, we'll keep making it look better.
as long as those lighting people keep it up too. You know?
Yeah, right.
Like, can't.
Hey man, you can't say you're
darkness.
not a lighting person anymore. It's been 15 years. I've seen you go from not knowing anything to doing pretty much all of it on your own. So
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't much in video either, and here I am.
exactly.
And guess what's part of video?
Yeah,
Lighting.
correct. Yeah.
It's highly important, you know, to pay attention to those shadows, or just, you know, capture what you're out to capture, whatever your vision is. What makes a healthy vendor-dealer-customer relationship?
Well, I can speak for myself on that one. Is when there's a deal involved, where I always try to include the client. Like, hey, do you want to jump on a Zoom call all together and just like kind of bang this out? Because I really want to know the vision and how this vision came about. You know, whether it was a committee saying, hey, we need to do this, or the lead AV guy, let's say at a church, that had the vision to do this, or the pastor. So want to make sure that we understand the vision first, and that comes directly from the client. So instead of having somebody in the middle, let's all be involved together and be able to understand that so we can specify it correctly the first time.
My motto for this podcast is clarity, partnership, and execution.
Yeah. I think I said
Whatever
it differently,
thought.
but yeah, you know, I'll
That's
came
pretty much
across
what
like
you
that.
said.
Yeah, sure.
How ironic.
I'm not Webster's dictionary, man. I'm just me.
I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that it is, what I'm saying is true.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very important to have a partnership with Gamma LED for myself. They hit all the marks. They're trustworthy. They're honest. And they're just great people to work with. Most people have to understand that we're also in this to make a living too. So there has to be some type of margin. You can't, you know, when it comes to pricing and stuff like that, it's great to get a great deal, but it's not a great deal if your partner, you know, that's putting it all together doesn't make any money. I think that's important too.
Sure. Yeah. I know what you mean with that. I used to have somebody that bought like a pallet of fog fluid. This is not with Gamma, by the way. Buy a pallet of fog fluid for, I don't know, let's say $4,000. The next time, if it wasn't at least $39.99, $1 cheaper, they wouldn't buy it. So it's like, how long is this gonna go? Like, you're not my partner. You're just trying to get something cheaper from me.
And that's where
It's different people's mentality.
That's where the partnership comes into, man.
Yeah.
Because once you become a partner to me is that you celebrate each other's successes. You know, I want Gamma LED to be as successful as they possibly can be, and whatever power I could have to make that happen, I take every opportunity to do so. And I think that's what makes a partnership strong, is you have the best interest of each other in mind, not just yourself. I mean, that's the difference between manipulation and persuasion, but
Sure.
we won't get into that either.
Yeah, I mean, like, you were the first person at GC that gave Gamma a deal. And that opened up the door for Gamma to get into
Wow, it
GC
was? I
Pro.
didn't know
Yeah,
that.
you were the first one that actually did a couple of deals with us, and I taught to your regional at the time, and
We actually
he
do
helped
business
in.
back and
Yeah.
forth. You guys have
Yeah.
bought and stuff from me too.
yeah, exactly.
Wow, the world goes around
Yeah,
sometimes.
if we need some audio stuff, we know who to go to.
Yeah, I got you. A lot of this show is trying to educate people getting into the industry too. So
Mhm.
if you're still listening, I don't think this was like super technical like some other ones that could get. What advice could you give those people just entering the industry?
So, stuff that I didn't know. So, just quick background. I was theater productions in high school. I went to college for it. Didn't enjoy it anymore. I got a recording degree. Then I worked for Guitar Center. But if I would have known stuff like the cruise ship industry was a thing when I was younger, I could have had room and board, you know, making that back then, 30 grand a year or whatever it might have been, just all my money. Could have saved up for something cool, like car, house, whatever. It was, 18 to 20 years old. You don't really think about stuff like that, but I think it's more thought about now than it was when I was growing up. So that's always a really good opportunity. Get on the road now. Like, when you're young and you're out of high school, out of college, and you're trying to get into this industry, if your passion is the production side of things, get on the road now, because there's going to come a time in your life later on where you're not going to want to be, whether it's wife, children, whatever, partner, children, where you're going to want to be around more. Get on the road now, learn it all, and then, passions change. I have people that have done that for a long time. They're now like the lead person at their church. So now they're local and they get paid for their favorite place to go other than home. It's pretty cool. But that's my advice, just because I wish I would have had it. Like, I wish I would have known, like, there was a cool college in Boca Raton, Florida I could have gone to. I had no idea that existed. But cruise ship industry would have been cool for me, for sure.
I went a different route, but the thing that you mentioned was I went to a bachelor. I have a bachelor's, and had I gotten into this industry a lot earlier, maybe I wouldn't necessarily need the degree that I'm still paying on. So
yeah.
I think that's one thing about the AVL industry that's pretty awesome, is that if you find something you love doing, go do it, and go do it for a long time and have fun.
Well,
making
yeah, and
money
you can
doing it.
you can think of this industry like a trade, right? Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to go to a school to be a master electrician or a master a plumber, whatever. But also great trades. But this industry is also kind of, you're learning on the job. So get into it. There's a really cool. I'm not pushing anybody else's podcast; they don't do them. But there is a cool Instagram you can follow called Gigs Live, GIGGS, that post jobs, a bunch of entry level job postings for companies all around the country. So I do tell people at like small regional shows, I'll have people coming out of college asking me kind of where can they start. Follow that site. It's a great source.
And to recap, what we've been talking about is that relationships matter. Okay, so if you're entering this industry, your reputation is going to matter. For God's sakes, be reliable. This is a very small industry. You're eventually going to come across somebody, the longer you're in it, that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows you. And especially in your own city, it really gets crowded because it's kind of a niche type of skill set, kind of like plumbing. You can only really have a plumber come and fix your plumbing. You can only really have an audio or lighting guy come and fix your audio and lighting. It's pretty straightforward like that. There's no way around it. If you really want it done correctly.
Yeah.
I would like to thank you for inviting me out to hold the podcast here on this. It's important to know that I'm sitting in a vendor's warehouse, and it shows the extent of our relationship. I think that says a lot in itself. Did you have any closing thoughts?
I mean, dude, like behind the scenes, you're in Gamma, so like the showroom is by appointment only. If you know anybody wants to come in, you're welcome to give us a call and we can set that up. And no, thank you as well. Like I've been wanting to do this for a while. I've been following your podcast for a couple years now, so it's
Cool.
good to see.
I'm glad that it's helping people.
Much success.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'd like to give a big shout out to Gamma LED Vision, Carlos, Jeremy, my good friend, and everybody else involved. If you like this podcast, please share, comment, and subscribe.